Let's talk about LILIUM, ticker symbol LILM. LILIUM is one of over a dozen SPACs that Palantir, ticker symbol PLTR, has invested in. So Palantir essentially becomes like a little SPAC ETF. A SPAC is considered a special purpose acquisition company, and instead of you IPOing, which is an initial public offering on the stock market, you merge with a company that's already on the stock market. And now you have LILIUM. LILIUM is something called an evtol company. And evtol stands for Electric Vertical Takeoff and Landing, which means you have something like a propeller. On this case, LILIUM has an actual plane with wings. Those propellers are like drone propellers, which allows you to go up and allows you to come down. That is essentially what LILIUM is. It's a private or commercial small jet that has 7 passengers, which is 1 pilot, 6 passengers, or 5 passengers, 1 pilot, 4 passengers for a little bit more luxury, or 1 pilot, no passengers, and it can be used for a commercial aspect. LILIUM can go around 150 kilometers in distance. LILIUM just recently added landing gear, which allows it to continue 20% more than it could without using the landing gear, because around 90+% of LILIUM's batteries are used for the actual takeoff and landing. If you can land like a regular airplane, that allows you to maximize your battery power. LILIUM has a lot of partnerships to try to propel it forward to the actual market. In theory, LILIUM will hit the market in 2025 if everything goes right and there is no hiccups. LILIUM partners with Bristow on electric air mobility. Leading provider of helicopter transportation plans to purchase 50 LILIUM all-electric jets and provide Part 145 maintenance services in Florida and other US and European markets. This is fantastic because you need a lot of deals to sell the actual LILIUM jets. If I'm not mistaken, the jets go for like $2 to $2.5 million, if I'm not mistaken off the top of my head. The thing is, this is not a binding contract, and LILIUM already has contracts like this, but these are contracts nonetheless. This is an intent to purchase, but not an actual binding agreement that you have to purchase. It's just an option saying, hey, we're looking at LILIUM and we're going to purchase them if we feel the deal is right and they're able to do what they say they can do. Let's keep reading, you'll see what I mean. LILIUM, developer of the world's first electric vertical takeoff and landing jet, announced today a strategic partnership with Bristow and will have the option to purchase 50 LILIUM jets. Option. They're not locked into the contract. It's just an option. However, this is huge news. In addition to providing maintenance service for the LILIUM jet's launch in network in Florida and other future US and European markets, the non-binding Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, outlines collaboration between Bristow and LILIUM on the development of a maintenance program to support the operation of LILIUM jets, including the ramp-up maintenance in support of LILIUM's jet entry into service and post-EIS services. The MOU also enables Bristow to become an authorized service provider for LILIUM. The MOU further outlines how LILIUM and Bristow may collaborate on the process of achieving the relevant regulatory approvals for operating the LILIUM jets in Florida and plans for Bristow to purchase 50 LILIUM jets. You might have heard the term MOU before, MOU, and this is the not intent to purchase, but option to purchase. This is an article from March 4th, 2022, and I spoke about this on the channel before, but maybe you guys are new to LILIUM. NetJets signs MOU for up to 150 LILIUM evtols. Now, NetJets is the largest private jet company in the United States, possibly in the world. It's good for LILIUM to have these potential contracts with these huge companies. The more people that are watching LILIUM, the better it is for LILIUM. Now, LILIUM is currently being audited in Europe, and they're applying for the aviation department, and they're providing for aviation approval in Europe. And at the same time, they will use this aviation approval in Europe as aviation approval in the United States. There's currently 4 processes, like 4 sections for this aviation approval. They're currently at the 2nd stage. They're going to have 2 more stages after that. If they can do this, they're going to have approval by 2023. And then they have to actually make production, so on and so forth. So hopefully by 2025, LILIUM can be a force to be reckoned with in the private jet sector and in the commercial jet sector. Now, LILIUM is just big enough to be able to take off and land on any helicopter pad. This gives them a distinct advantage to a lot of other vehicles in delivery and transportation because they can go from point A to point B over water, for example, as opposed to a car, a bus, a shuttle cannot do this. They can't actually take off from a specific location and land at a specific location. They have to go around in different routes. And this is the competitive advantage of LILIUM. LILIUM does have aspirations to build a larger 16-passenger jet in the future, but they don't have any plans or details of that right now. This is going to be way after and to be able to expand the business once they're actually in the market. Now, I am invested in LILIUM. I have it in my private portfolio. I have it in my public Patreon portfolio. By the way, if you guys want to join Patreon, I have a link down below. LILIUM's current price is $2.50. The all-time 52-week low is $2.16. Well, the 52-week high is $11.66. The market cap is currently only $750 million, which makes this a micro cap. If you know me, I like to do YOLO plays. I like to get into projects before they actually take off, pun intended. And LILIUM for me was a great company to invest in. Now, this is a risky investment. It doesn't mean that it's actually going to take off. It could crash and burn, pun intended again. But if LILIUM can do what they say they're trying to do, and it looks like they're moving in that direction. Now, this road is super long and it's just the beginning of the road. But they did start the race, you know? They're not here. They started, and they're moving along as they're supposed to be doing. If LILIUM can take off, if LILIUM can make this happen, LILIUM is going to be a beast and a monster, and I believe that I'm going to make really good returns with this investment. Now, LILIUM is making a lot of partnerships. LILIUM is making a lot of design changes and a lot of design upgrades when it comes to LILIUM. Nobody's talking about them, especially any of the big YouTubers. I think I'm the only YouTuber that consistently covers LILIUM. This is not a bad thing, but a great thing. If LILIUM does actually take off, that means that I'm getting in at the ground floor. Once the bigger YouTubers start talking about it, it's already going to be too late because the price already did moon up. If this does take off, I have no idea. But for me, everything that I'm doing in covering LILIUM, I like everything that I see. So far, so good. And I don't see any red flags. This is a growth company, 100% growth company, and anything can happen, and they may not make it. But if they do make it, just by progress alone, you can make a lot of money up until that point. Once they do make it, now they actually have to prove themselves if they're business savvy and if people are going to be buying their jets. Once they get closer to that approval, though, I believe that a lot of these options to buy jets will become binding agreements to buy jets, not only by the two companies that I just mentioned, but also by a lot of new companies out there. And there's a lot of use cases for these LILIUM jets. They're literally the only ones that are jets that are electric. Most other companies that try to compete with LILIUM, they don't have the same technology. They're more like drones that look absolutely whack. LILIUM's design is dope. LILIUM looks sexy. LILIUM looks clean. If I had the money, an extra $2 million, I would buy a LILIUM jet just for my own personal transportation. Guys, have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe.